Folks, my name is Richard F. Yates. I am the guy, the voice behind the video. And the video quality on this was pretty bad, so you can just think of it almost as like a podcast where you're just listening to a guy chatter. But if you do somehow manage to make it through the whole video, and I do a little bit of advice about things like how to handle gravel, which is pretty sucky. And then I also go off on a weird tangent where I talk about Eddie Murphy for a long time and some of his funnier stuff. But if you somehow manage to make it through the whole video, I'm going to include at the end some links. In the show notes, I'm going to include some links to my Steam It blog and my fancy hardcore sponsor. It's not a real sponsor in the sense that it's a corporation, but my wife and two daughters have a company called Goofy Gals Crafts, and so far they only have a Facebook page, but I think they're going to work on getting like a Etsy store or something pretty soon. But I'll have a link to the Facebook page at the end, and then in the show notes, and then I'll also include a couple of links to some of the things that I mentioned in the video, which I don't know why I got off on a weird tangent today, but that's because I was mining, and mining is boring. So the video quality here is a little bit trash, and then the concept, I tried to keep it entertaining with the chatter, but really I'm doing a search for iron because I got a big some sort of thing off in the distance that I need to explore, and I wanted to make sure I didn't die while I was exploring it. So this is my first howdy as a real human. So this is what I look like in real life, and this is what I sound like in real life. And you can see on the wall behind there, I got my asteroids machine, and then those little tabs on it are my high scores, because I thought it was funny to keep high scores. And then way above that, I have an old painting that I did 100 years ago, and handmade frame, but it's made from a cereal box that I painted on, and then actually the cardboard, the stuff that looks like rock cardboard, is actually glow in the dark. So under a black light, the squid part glows. Isn't that fancy? That's pretty fancy. But at any rate, I'll include some links to some stuff in the show notes. So if you're watching this not on a thing where you can get to the show notes, it's worth looking at a computer. So I'll have some fancy links to some things like some crypto art, and one of the videos I talk about in the footage. And then Goofy Gals Crafts, who are the best sponsors in the world, in the sense that it's my wife allows me to do this, and so that's some hardcore sponsorship. Okay, thanks for stopping by. I might also throw a picture or two of my artwork. If not in this one, then in some. So, okay, we'll talk to you next time. Bye. Okay, folks, we're back again. Day 4 of Minecraft. This is Richard F. Yates, and today we are heading back to not Donkey Kong World for our 4th exciting day of thrill-packed thrills, or something like that. But at any rate, so I was reviewing some of my old footage, and it looks like there's still a little bit of fuzz on the screen, so hopefully you guys don't mind a little bit of punk rockness. We'll pretend it's like a live show. You know how you go to a live show and sometimes a live concert, and sometimes the sound isn't awesome. Well, that's kind of what we're gonna call this. But in the meantime, so for now we have this is what I've got to work with, but we'll try and make it fun in other ways. One of the things, the end of the last episode, I found that glow in the distance, which looks like it's either a village or a pillager outpost or something, but it's something potentially life-threatening that might kill me. So I think before I do much else, and there's a couple of things I want to do, try and write myself a couple notes so that I don't forget them. One of the things I want to do pretty soon is build a better tower, because it kind of helps when you're out and about, helps you find your way home if you have a tower. Ooh, it's raining. Interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen rain yet, but I suppose you have if you played this ever. But the other thing that I need to do, and I think it's what I'm going to do today, is I'm going to try and do some more mining because I need some armor. If you've played this game for any length of time, you know that it's pretty easy to die. Good thing here, though, if it's raining, that means the crops are going to get irrigated a little better. Hey, look at that, stupid head. Okay, instead of playing with all the zombies, like I said, I'm going to go in the water. Or in the water. No, they're in the water. Although, how did he get out? I'm going to go do some mining because I need to get some iron so I can get some armor. Hey, there's a skeleton. I don't have a shield. So that's one of the things you need. Armor. You need iron to make a shield. So it's time to do some mining. Where are we? There we go. So mining is one of my least favorite things. I've talked to people who love mining, but it's just not my favorite thing. I have 26 torches because that's one of the main things. You got to make sure you have light because it gets dark real fast. And I would normally make this too wide, but I really need to get where I'm going. Why was that? Is that flint already? Or not flint, but okay. So we've run into some sort of gravel. Which is good for there, so flint. So I can make arrows, so that part's good. Yeah, I really just need to go down, though, because we need... Oh, there's some more. With gravel, you don't want to use your pick, because, again, it'll break it. And hoe, I don't hardly do a whole lot of farming, so I'm using the hoe. But I will take this coal, because it's always good to have coal. Later on in the game, you know, when you have a whole giant stockpile of coal, it's probably not that exciting. But at the moment, I'm still starting out. So I need to find some iron, though. And usually you can just keep digging until you find iron. You hear that? Somewhere down here, or actually might be the ones up above. It's the sound of a skeleton. And I suppose it's possible that there could be a skeleton. It could be the one up above that I'm hearing, but it's also possible sometimes you can run into a spawner or a cave or something down below. Oh, but you'll notice, I mean, I don't know how much of this is supposed to be educational or not. I'm actually just playing for fun, but if you notice gravel and sand and a few other things, if you chop below, they fall. Which is not that cool if you're down below and you are digging sideways and you accidentally run into gravel and then it falls on your head, because that sucks. There are tricks you can do, though. Maybe I can show you a trick here. I can't remember where I read this, but one thing you can do with gravel is if you put a candle below it and then you chop out, it melts all of the gravel instead of falling on your head. So, okay, so let's see. I'm still trying to find iron. I may have mentioned this once or twice, but I'm not very good at this game, and honestly, one of my least favorite things is mining. I was talking to somebody today. I think it was my younger daughter's fiance, and he said his favorite thing in Minecraft is the mining. And I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, it's just, to me, this is kind of boring. You're just digging around. Oh, shoot. I dug down too far. Because you can only jump up one. You want to be able to jump back up to get up. Another thing that's probably good to know is if you have it too dark, monsters will spawn. And the way I was going to take care of that is... I'm almost out of pickaxe here. Let's see. Okay. You could put a door, like right here, so that it stops things from coming up. Or you can just keep making torches, and that'll, I think it's every 7. If you put a torch every 7 spaces, then it's too bright for monsters to spawn. Let's see. Okay, so like I said, I'm really not a big fan of mining. It's kind of tedious, but it is essential if you need to get the good stuff. Like, oh look, I'm running out of food. I'm gonna cheat a little. There. Theoretically, the deeper you go, the better chance you have of finding like gold and diamonds and stuff. But I'm honestly just looking for iron. So I wonder if instead of going deeper and deeper, I should be digging to the sides. Let's see. Okay, so this is dirt, and the interesting thing about dirt, of course, is it means that there's a change in the strata. So instead of just cobblestone, we might be getting close to something a little more interesting. So I will actually spend time digging out all the dirt just to see what else is there. But I also want to expand, because I'm not really looking for diamonds, so I don't really need to go deep. I just want iron, and iron's pretty common. You can find it at a lot of different levels. So let's see. Gotta keep an eye on my food, because I don't want to starve. So I thought about, since some of this is kind of tedious, you know, just the digging and crunching and jumping and all that stuff. I'm not doing the exciting stuff like fighting monsters or anything like that. I thought I could make up stories and tell them, but you know, it's just kind of concentration heavy just playing the game at all. So unfortunately, I might not be able to do anything too interesting other than jabber. And even my jabber, I've noticed I don't complete thoughts. I don't do complete sentences. Sometimes I'll say, like in, it was either the first or second episode where I was building that little tiny tower on top of the where my bed is, I said that it needed to be functional, not useful, which what I meant is it needs to be functional, not, you know, aesthetically pleasing. And I was too busy focusing on trying to build it to be able to talk about it. Well, this is kind of a pain. I got all this stuff dug out, and I'm not seeing any fancy stuff like coal, or not coal, like iron. So maybe my theory was incorrect. But anyway, down below, there's iron's pretty common, so I can't imagine that it's going to take too long to find iron. But you never know. Gotta watch the time too, because if I do this all night long, I'll miss my ability to save, and we don't want to do that. Again, this is probably going to be a pretty boring episode, at least in my opinion, because I'm not a big fan of mining. So, anybody know any jokes? Maybe we could tell some jokes while we're down here. The only joke I know I stole from old Skeptoid podcast or something. I did made a new piece of crypto art today, which I was pretty happy with, and I made I usually write a little story to go along with my artwork when I make it, but I did the story about a guy who saves the world through the power of video game videos, which is in no way autobiographical, but boy, this is dumb. Come on, Iron, where are you? Am I looking in all the wrong places? Looking for iron in all the wrong places. That was an old country western song. Well, not about iron though. I think it was love before. And I know it a lot from the Eddie Murphy did a character called, hey, there we go, found some iron. On Saturday Night Live, Eddie Murphy did a Buckwheat, who was one of the characters on Little Rascals, and he did his version of Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places, Wookin' per Nub, and I don't want to be guilty of insensitivity or cultural appropriation, so I'll just let Eddie Murphy be the guy who tells that joke. But go look for the Saturday Night Live best ofs. They have best of Steve Martin, best of Dan Aykroyd, but there's a best of Eddie Murphy, and it's pretty funny. Has his Buckwheat on it, and it has his Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It has his Gumby, which I always thought was really fun. I'm Gumby, dammit. These are really old cultural references that some people might not get. But if you look up on YouTube, maybe even, you might be able to find Eddie Murphy Gumby and see it. He was kind of edgy before he went kids show. Stuff like 48 Hours and some of those other shows that he did. And then plus his stand-up. His stand-up is kind of hard to watch now because it's a little more adult. But not just adult, but a little homophobic and sexist and some other stuff that at the time we thought was funny, but cultural sensitivity has shifted what is acceptable. And I mean, I completely understand that the language has to change, but at the same time, it's kind of sad to go back and listen to people who you really like and find out that the sentiments they had back then were no longer considered appropriate. I'm not even going to get into the Bill Cosby thing because that really bums me out. He was one of my favorite comedians, and now I can't even listen to his stuff without feeling bad, which is too bad because he really was pretty funny. Let's see. I suppose after I get these last little bits here. See, this is going to be one of those episodes that's totally a waste, and I apologize for anybody who's watching this thinking it's going to be exciting. Maybe if I get enough iron, I got enough iron to make a shield, and I don't think I did. I can go fight a skeleton, because once I get a shield, I can do okay. I'll need the rest of the armor eventually, but a shield is the main thing, because you need the shield for blocking. You can block all kinds of stuff with a shield. I better get up and see how late it is. Let's see. Ah! Where's my stairway? There it is. Okay. Gravel. Okay. So let's go see if it's dark out. Throw the iron that I did manage to get into the furnace. And yeah, it's dark out. Darn it. Alright, short episode. I spent most of it chatting about Eddie Murphy. Flint. Got some coal here. And where's my iron? Critical. I got 6. Let's see how much iron you need to make a shield. 1. Oh, good. Okay. So if I only need 1 iron to make a shield, and then I need some wood. Cool. Let's do it. Bam. Okay, so we got a shield. With a shield, you can fend off most things. I mean, not everything. So let's go see. Oh, wait, let's do this. Is that a horse? Okay, come on, Mr. Skeleton. How's it going, horse? I'm gonna fight at least 1 skeleton now that I have a shield. What is it, over here in the woods, I think. And then I gotta get to sleep before dawn. I'm sure they were killing me a little while ago and now nothing.
There's a creeper. Oh, I hit him with a pork chop. So yeah, those will explode, but if you're quick and smack them and then run away before they explode, because you have to be close enough for them to explode. I got all these animals around, but no skeletons? Really? There's some zombies. Let's see, what is that? I can't really tell if that's a big town or a pillager outpost. Oh! Poor little guy. Might just be a village. Okay, cool. So I can go to the village and do some trading, although I don't really have anything to trade. But cool. Neat. So now be careful not to fall into my wheat field. Can't believe there's no zombie or no skeletons around. Look, all these guys keep falling in here and dying. Oh, there's a skeleton in the water. Hey, wasn't very nice. That's kind of cheating, isn't it? Wow, there's lots of skeletons in the water. Alright. Okay, there we go. I cheated and fought a couple of fish in a barrel. But I got a shield now. And got some more iron cooking in the fire here. Down to one piece of mutton, so that's not good. There. We get more iron, we can make more armor. And, oh, it's almost bright out, so I better get to bed. Okay. Boom. So, it looks like that's a village in the distance and not a pillager outpost, although I don't know for sure. Still, I got enough iron to make a shield, so that's good. The shield's enough usually to fend off a lot of monsters. Although, apparently all the monsters around me now are falling into that pit, which is kind of weird, goofy, but that's okay. We'll let them sit in the water. But I guess that's it for today. Sorry, it was probably not that exciting of an episode, but at least we talked about Eddie Murphy, which has nothing to do with Minecraft. So, alright, well that's good. Enjoy the show. I think I'm going to throw some sponsor bits on this. So keep watching for a few seconds after the video's over and take a look at my sponsors, who are the Goofy Gals Crafts. They're pretty cool. And then I'll probably throw a little note for my daily blog on Steemit, which is based on the Steam blockchain, and a couple other things. So check the show notes for a few links to some stuff. Okay, and thanks for stopping by. We'll see you in the next day or two when we go for day 5. But there we go. A fairly uneventful day 4, but we're gearing up now. We're getting ready. Okay, bye.